Okay, just wanted to do a quick comparison. I was playing a Sunburst Squier Bullet that I had replaced the neck on with a piece of wood that I just liked better. It was prettier. It wasn't any kind of an upgrade, really. It just was kind of a visual for me. And that Squire Bullet was a good player. I had it set up exactly the same way as I have this one. This, by the way, is a made in Japan 2010 classic vibe 50s in Lake Placid Blue. It's kind of a quite an unusual color, and not many of them around in this configuration, because apparently the Lake Placid Blue was not an actual color that was offered in the 1950s. Apparently it was offered by Fender in the 1960s, as they tended to paint their guitars, as I understand, colors that were popular, or their guitars. They painted them colors that were popular for vehicles of the same era, and the Lake Placid Blue color did come out on vehicles in the late 1950s, but was not used on guitars until the early 60s. Anyway, I like this guitar so much, the way it feels, the way it plays, just the build quality and everything, the way it sounds, that I wanted to kind of replicate this guitar in what I would call a beater guitar that I didn't mind dragging around and banging up a bit. And the Bullet that I had was kind of a close approximation. I swapped in a Classic Vibe 60s pick guard with the Alnico 3 or 5. I don't remember which pickups it has, but neither here nor there. They sound good enough to me. And anyway, so I was going to show, I eventually moved that pick guard to a new build, and this new build I wanted to, as closely as possible, replicate the build quality of the Classic Vibe. So the Classic Vibe, as you can see, has the what, stamped steel saddles or whatever they are. They're fine. I don't have any issues with them. They try and stay out of the light here. I think they do well enough. The action adjustment screws don't stick up too terribly high. They don't bother my hand. Some people have problems with that. The paint quality and everything, is fine. But where this guitar really stands out and really shines is in the neck and the fretwork. I mean, if you look here, there are people, now I don't own a Fender Strat. My daughter has one that I've had my hands on, and for the very brief amount of time that I had my hands on that Fender, I would say that the quality of it was no better than what I see here on the Classic Vibe. And I forget what this nut material is. It might be a tusk, but I can't say for sure. I don't remember. Now you'll notice here the bushings that go through the headstock on these vintage style tuners. These are the cheaper Squier vintage style tuners, and so when I show you the guitar that I built, that I attempted to mimic the quality and playability of this guitar. Oh, let's show you that. Nice work on the decal there. It looks, it's got the metal flake type decal. Looks really nice. Anyway, the back of the guitar has the skunk stripe. The wood is pretty plain, and it does have, some people don't like the high gloss finish on the neck. I don't mind it. I actually think it feels kind of nice, and it doesn't impact my ability to play. This, I'm told, the manufacturer being in China and from 2010, this one is in some ways, by some people, more desirable than the newer ones that are made in Indonesia. I couldn't tell you why. I've seen Indonesian guitars, and I have had no issue with their quality either. I think they're just fine. But anyway, so because I don't want to mod this guitar up, being that it's nearly perfect how it is, or essentially so, that the tuning machines would be about the only thing you could really upgrade. I just don't want to do anything to this guitar, but nor do I want to take a chance of beating it up too badly, because I think that with the rarity of the color combination and the year model and the desirability of the made in Chinas, I don't want to trash it too bad. So this is a guitar that I built. Now, there are going to be some differences. First of all, this is a 2000 or 2001. I think it's a 2000. Affinity Strat. I think it was made in Indonesia, if I remember. I picked it up on Marketplace for $85. This pick guard is the pick guard that was that I bought from the Classic Vibe 60s. Moved it over to this from the Sunburst Bullet. I did put brass saddles on this. I do have I don't know if you can see that. I have floated the tremolo here. It is a floated trem, and it stays in tune very, very well. These screws do stick up a bit higher than the ones on my Classic Vibe, but again, I have no issues with that. I'm not doing a lot of palm muting, and to be fair and to be honest, I'm not an extremely skilled player. I'm still actually quite new at playing, and I'm not very skilled yet. I did have a little issue with intonation on this guitar as I was building it, and I discovered that it was because I had my pickups set up to the Fender. I don't know why it's not focusing. Had the pickups set up to the Fender factory specs, and they were actually pulling so heavily on the low E at factory settings that they were impacting my ability to intonate the guitar. So I had to set them pretty deep into the pick guard there. But the guitar is intonated perfectly now. Yes, I lost a little bit of gain by moving them as far away as I did. But in the end, the guitar plays tremendously well. The build quality on this thing is insane for a guitar that I have only about $300 into. The neck is what I really want to talk about, because that's kind of where you're going to really feel the difference between these two guitars, and there really isn't any. I think I achieved very well my effort to duplicate the quality of a Classic Vibe. Now, on the front of the neck, you don't see a whole lot of difference. It is a real rosewood fingerboard. You can see the fretwork is very nice. The frets are perfectly smooth. No issues with fret sprout whatsoever. They feel fantastic. I found these Fender vintage tuners on the Stratosphere for, I think I paid $8 total. That's shipped to my house, $8. The wood on this neck is gorgeous. Notice the decal here. It still has that metal flake Squier, but all it says is Squier by Fender. I don't know if anyone recognizes yet, but this neck came out of a Paranormal Nashville. And look at this. Look at that figuring in that neck. That neck is wonderful. No skunk stripe, which they look nice on the guitars that have them, but this neck is gorgeous without one, and I really like this neck, and it's super playable. So the Paranormal, you can see it's from a 2023 Paranormal, made in China, it looks like, with the CYK serial number. The tuning machines are great. The only issue with this neck, as you can see, is it has a used stamped into the headstock, but that's barely noticeable. This neck is gorgeous. And the playability and the quality of this thing is every bit the equal, if not superior to, my Classic Vibe. Now, it's not showing up in the video, but you know, this body being over 20 years old, it does have a few little scratches and scrapes in it that were, I did run some car rubbing compound for automotive paint. I did rub the paint out just a little bit to kind of reduce the appearance of the scratches, but they're still there. There's some light scratches in the paint, but overall it's in wonderful condition. I don't know if you can see that. I forget the size exactly, but there's a company that you can find on Amazon. They make a lot of guitar stuff. The company name is Music Lily. There is a Music Lily solid brass trem block in here, so that was an upgrade. So the total specs on the guitar is 2000 or 2001, can't remember, Affinity body with a Paranormal neck that I just love. Fender original, Fender tuning machines, vintage tuning machines, Music Lily trem block. I forget who makes the brass saddles, but then the Classic Vibes 60s loaded pick guard, and strings. I have Ernie Ball 10s slinkies on here, and this guitar is so wonderful that I'm definitely going to be this is going to be my primary electric. I've got a Taylor acoustic and a couple of beaters that I'm going to downsize and get rid of. And in my downsizing, I'm trying to decide whether or not I'm going to get rid of the Classic Vibe 50s. I think that guitar is on its way out because it holds absolutely nothing over this guitar that I've built. The action on this is perfect. The playability is perfect. And I just wanted to share that. Oh, one other thing I did fully shield everything with copper tape inside. The underneath the pick guard, it's all fully shielded with copper tape. And so there you have it. That is my my guitar build, and I'm super pleased with it.